Welcome to Dorker Realms. While most gamers will be familiar with Dungeons & Dragons from the newest edition of the game, there is a movement amongst some players called the Old School Revival, taking inspiration from the design philosophy of the earliest editions of D&D and bringing them into the modern era. These games and adventures emphasize the weird, the challenging, and the hardcore. Bear witness as our intrepid players explore unusual and dangerous tales in these old school adventures. This is part 4 of Colossus Arise. Though the adventures can be listened to in any order, we recommend beginning with the first episode of any given adventure. We go now to the table to delve into Dorker Realms.
Welcome back, everyone. Are we done with this adventure yet, DM? Where are we?
You just went down the hallway, the weird warped hallway, into the cathedral where the walls are disintegrating, and you inspected the altars briefly.
Oh, right. And we decided we didn't have enough information to interact.
Yeah, don't want to fuck with nothing with down on a stain.
Let's check the last area. And by that, I mean straight down the hallway into that big room. The central hallway.
So, stepping through the portal, you step out onto a stone platform which extends out into a hazy cavern. Eerie stalactites hang from the ceiling, glistening in the dim light. The floor of the cavern, some 20 feet below, is rough, with hundreds of motionless, stony forms akin to an army of squat, lumpy stalagmites standing in clear pools. A sickly red globe hangs in the distance like the light of a dying sun. It shines faintly through the haze, casting long shadows through the dusky cavern. A narrow stairway is cut into the wall beneath the ledge, descending to the floor of the cavern.
The ledge where we are standing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said it's only the stalactites are 20 feet above the floor?
The floor of the cavern is some 20 feet below you from where you're standing
Gotcha. Okay. How high up is the ceiling?
now. High.
Okay.
Probably 50 to 70 feet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I guess let's look around, maybe head towards that orb.
So the lumpy forms, they're just stalactites, or do they look like they might be things?
Those are stalagmites.
Sorry, you're right, stalagmites. I guess we'd have to get closer to figure that out. Well, I guess we should.
I mean, we're going to float all day, so let's float.
Mortimer's going to lean close to Bindel and kind of whisper to him. Should I maybe place some mushrooms up there? In case we need to, I can set them off and the stalactites will fall on whatever's down there.
I guess if you want, I could just, teleport them all into an abyss.
Oh, right.
You're here to check for traps and open locks.
Gotcha.
I don't mean to be demeaning, but I can handle most of the combat.
Mortimer seems slightly disappointed.
Aww.
But carries on with resolve.
Alright, let's go down there and head towards that orb.
Descending the stairs, the darkened cavern is littered with hundreds of squat, stony stalagmites, glistening red in the dying light. The short, knobby formations nearly cover the cavern floor, each slick with the ooze that drips from the cavern's high ceiling.
Does this ooze appear similar to the stuff that was coming out of the lotus?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And Mortimer will note that, curiously, there are no... 1 second. What? Didn't it... What? Okay. So, Mortimer... What?
What?
Astute spelunkers, which I'm considering Mortimer as a dwarf, will note that, curiously, there are no stalactites hanging from the cavern ceiling. Now, if I can return to the previous description, eerie stalactites hang from the ceiling.
Do you think there's like an opening?
My god, they're false. You can only view them from a certain angle.
So, is there like further on an indication that one can discern that they are not actually stalactites but are something else? Or do you think that was just a goof?
I don't know. It's strangely written.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
If I can just tell that there are no stalactites, then Mortimer will fly. Well, I guess if it's just a discrepancy there, it won't make a difference if I fly up to touch one or examine it or something.
well, they wouldn't be there. They're not there. There are none.
But they're also there.
There's definitely stalagmites.
Yes.
Maybe that was the issue.
How do stalagmites form?
I think that's the stalactite stuff drips down from the stalactites and
Yeah.
it builds up.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that would be noticeable if they are, or notable if there are stalagmites but no stalactites.
I think that's correct. I think that he wrote that there's stalactites in the previous section accidentally.
Okay. So it is interesting to note there's still ooze dripping from the ceiling?
Well, there would have to be, because that's how the stalactites would be made, or the stalagmites would be made.
Unless they're also something else.
Well, can you have stalagmites without stalactites?
That was kind of
think
why
so,
I was
yeah.
asking.
Well,
don't think
since
so.
we have a disintegration room into oblivion, wouldn't that make sense if we're destroyed that way?
But this room isn't
No,
connected to that
doesn't
effect.
make any
Yeah.
sense.
At least not yet.
I think there are stalagmites, but no stalactites.
Is there still dripping from the ceiling though?
Yes.
Okay. Mortimer, noticing this, says, I don't see any stalactites on the ceiling, which should be how there are stalagmites here.
All right, I continue towards the orb.
I think if there was a portal, like magic could explain it, right? Like a portal.
I mean, I could turn the whole thing into mud. I can make it stalactites. I can make a passageway. Yes, magic could explain it.
Yeah. Okay.
Bindel,
Magic-
you mind if I have a look at the ceiling? Maybe it'll explain what's going on here.
I mean, you can fly.
Mortimer's going to fly up to the ceiling.
It's just a rough stone ceiling and lots of little driplets of ooze kind of seep between.
Seep between
Seep.
the cracks.
Yeah, between cracks in the ceiling. Yeah.
Huh. Alright, he'll fly back down to join the others. As Bindel approaches
Ooze.
the orb.
All right. So as you make your way across the cavern, at the back of the cavern, there's a set of rough natural steps which give way to cut stone. At the peak of the wide stairs is a towering mound of rusted weapons and twisted armor. Beyond the weird pile of ruined metal is a large arched portal. A dull red orb is set within the arch's keystone, glowing like a dying sun.
Well, we don't have a key for the keystone. That's how that works, right?
No.
No, that just means the stone at the top of the arch that holds the arch together.
Oh, well,
Yes.
that makes a lot more sense. All right, well,
Is the space within the arch flat stone, or is it open?
Sorry?
Sorry, the archway is the space within
Oh,
the...
it's open. Yeah, you
Okay.
can go through it.
I guess we...
Do we see anything through it?
There is a room beyond.
Maybe
A
we'll go up the
wide-ceilinged
steps.
room.
And look through the portal?
Check for traps.
On the stairs or at the
Like
portal?
the portal.
All right, Mortimer will check for traps.
I'll roll it.
Oh, yes, right.
What's your bonus?
Plus 12.
You do not detect any traps.
Okay.
All right, I guess we'll continue onward.
All right, yeah, I guess we go through the portal.
Just a bunch of vampires floating around.
3 enormous canopic jars dominate this vaulted chamber. Resting atop a wide ledge, the vast jars are easily 30 feet or more in height and topped with clay heads cast in the likenesses of a crow, hyena, and lion. One of the enormous jars has cracked. Clear ooze seeps from the crack, dripping down the face of the funerary vessel and pooling on the chamber floor. An execution is taking place on the sunken floor beneath the vessels. A towering priestess, arrayed in rich robes, holds aloft a great sickle sword. Before her kneel 6 priestesses dressed in white gowns, their necks placed over execution blocks. A final giant form, arrayed in stylized bronze armor and bearing a shield and long spear, stands watch over the proceedings, eyes glinting darkly beneath his great helm.
Does this up here, so there was that, like, relief or whatever, the wall sculpture that showed someone with a big woman with a sword killing. Does this look similar to that?
No, in that statue, they were driving the smaller humans forward towards the tomb.
That's right, okay.
I'm sorry, was this something like a picture or a statue we were looking at, or is this actually happening?
This is actually
okay,
happening.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of people not falling asleep here. It really bugs me.
What?
A lot of people not falling asleep.
What was the range, like a mile?
12 or 1,500 feet.
They have really high saving throws.
I know. That's what I was getting at. It really bugs me. Well, are we going to stop this?
Do we see any reason to? It's not really ideal, right?
Seriously, just kill all of them. We're trying to stop an apocalypse. Also, you're supposed to be chaotic and evil. Play your character.
Well, look.
He's not supposed to be evil.
That's what chaotic in this setting means.
He's an animal.
What? He's chaotic animal. What if we let the beheading happen so there's fewer of them we have to fight?
I don't care about that.
So we're just assuming this is part of the apocalypse?
Yes, it's some sort of dark cult. It's always a dark cult.
Why are you asking us for permission? You're Bindel.
I'm trying to include you in the group.
It is appreciated, but you've made...
yeah, why don't you talk to Bob Dell? He'll be... Alright. I mean, whatever.
The head priestess slices the head off one of the other priestesses, and it drops to the cavern floor. The heavy thump.
Look, if you guys want to just watch it, that's fine.
No, we can let's go in and
Let me, I'll try to do Instill Fear.
So they don't have to drink for that to happen?
No, he has to
He has to
but
drink,
also,
okay.
he didn't check the range or anything.
Nope.
We're gonna be rolling for initiative if you're gonna jump in and do something.
I'll just jump in and do something.
Alright, so we're rolling for initiative then?
Yeah.
6.
7.
19 for Mortimer.
Well, what is Pothos' initiative?
7.
Who has the higher agility between Pothos and Lionel?
I have a 16 agility.
Then he does.
So I got a drink.
Chug, 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 chug.
So 15. Not as good as Swole.
Call.
Low.
Swallow.
Swallow.
Cool. Okay, cause fear. Paladin has the ability to cause fear the unholy of equal HD or less. Targets must make a will save versus the caster's check, result, or flee for 1 round. Plus round Paladin level away from Paladin. So my HD is... Huh?
You're 8 hit
Oh,
dice.
8? Oh, okay. Yeah. Are they level 8s? Or less?
I mean, no.
They're not lower?
No.
Or, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why you think they would be.
I don't know.
Giant scale.
Are the priests, what are they called? The sacrifices, are they lower?
No.
Oh. Shoot.
They were also giant
Yeah, they're all
priestesses.
they're all
Oh,
giants,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So it doesn't work.
So that's fine. Then,
Well, that's your turn, right?
remember I have 2.
Well, no, that's an ambush action, though, I thought.
Oh, it was an ambush? Okay, yeah.
Alright, so Lionel jumps up and tries his casting to little effect, and the eyes of the head priestess and the giant armored warrior turn to look at you, and then the handmaid moves on to sever the head of another of the victims, meaning there are 2 dead and 4 remaining alive. And on their turn, they all just lie there, the remaining 4. And then it'll be Mortimer's turn.
So there are the blocks that the giantesses have their heads on that they're being chopped on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are the canopic jars, which are on the other side of the room.
Yep.
All the giants are between us and those jars.
Yeah. This is taking place in a little sunken section of floor in front of the canopic jars.
Are there any other structures or anything in the room, like pillars or anything like that?
No.
What is lighting this room?
Torches set into the wall. I believe.
Do they reach all the way to the ceiling? Like, does the light, reach all the way to the ceiling?
Yes.
Damn. Sorry, I found Mortimer's best survival skill to be hiding, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Well, seeing as in DCC, you can literally just hide in basically plain sight. You
Oh,
can
really?
try and just hide.
Oh.
Remember we talked about that last time? How it's just like a higher roll because it's not an opposed roll.
Right. He's going to kind of slink off toward the corner of the room and hide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That's a crit, so 32.
Well, you succeeded hiding.
You're very well hidden.
Even the player character is ignored by other players.
Well, since it's not an opposed roll, yes.
You just have to make a perception check to find me, or?
No.
Oh.
It's not an opposed roll. You're either hidden or you're not.
What determines the success?
The area you're trying to hide in. Like, if you're literally trying to hide in plain sight, it's a 20.
Okay, I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
So you can pretty much always hide at our level.
And I assume that takes my action to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You have multiple actions.
Indeed you do.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to use my second action to fashion a mushboom to one of my arrows.
Okay. You're good to go.
Yes.
You're
That'll be my
ready to
turn.
mushboom. The huge, even by giant standards, armored man steps forward out of the sunken section of the floor and brandishes his long spear, and he attacks Lionel.
Because that's what I sound like to him.
That is a 46 to hit.
Okay.
For 25 points of damage.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
with his spear, he kind of sweeps Lionel and knocks him into Bindel,
Oof!
inflicting a -3 penalty on Bindel's next action. He then, spinning his spear around, will attack Pothos, because he's just a dick like that.
Yeah, going after the goat.
Weren't we on like a raised thing that we were looking down on?
I jumped
It's
down.
not very high raised.
Oh.
It's like a step for him.
Okay.
42 to hit
Yeah.
for 19 points of damage.
Wow.
Lionel Jenkins.
And
That's
he
basically what happened.
Yeah.
He picks Pothos up with his spear and flings him into Bindel, inflicting a -3 penalty on Bindel's next action.
I assume it stacks.
Huh?
Does it stack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throwing people at Bindel.
Probably should have opened with bless.
I got frustrated with the conversation. That's on me.
He will target Bindel with his next action.
Oh, wow. 3. Holy moly.
Oh, that's only a
It
35
hits.
for 27 points of damage.
Criminy.
And this guy's a beast. Alright, his last attack.
Oh, criminy.
Finishes off Lionel?
He targets
Of
Lionel.
course he does.
You know what? I'll roll for it. He targets Lionel. 46 to hit.
Okay.
The 33 points of damage.
Exactly knocked me out.
Wow.
Oh, wait, no. -2. My bad.
You have 2 HP left?
And he disarms you.
You literally cut your arm off.
He smacks your bung starter right out of your hand.
Gambrinus!
Gambrinus can't help you here, whelp.
Well, no shit.
Oh, it's Lionel's turn.
Wait. Didn't Mortimer roll higher than Lionel?
Yeah, but Lionel had the ambush action. Then Mortimer
But he
went.
already
Now
did.
it's his actual
you already
turn.
went.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah, you hid
hid in the
it.
corner
Okay,
and then tied a
I forgot
mushroom.
about that. Yep. You did nothing. Gotcha.
I noticed that Mortimer's gone, and I now attempt
You've
to roll
basically
20.
told Mortimer that he can do nothing, so he has
I didn't
internalized
say
it.
that.
In combat.
Oh, at least one of those was a crit, and I forgot to do it. Oh, that's
Oh.
fine. For him.
Yeah, but on who?
On who?
I think everyone except Bindel.
Is that what 40,
Well,
the
then-
46s
then-
all
then
were?
roll those. Do those.
it's
No,
fine.
do those.
Do those,
please.
please.
They're interesting.
Okay.
I also have it coming.
On everyone? What's
Yeah.
his crit range?
20 to 24.
Oh, he rolls a bigger die.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he
making
does.
sense.
Nice.
He rolls deep.
Ring deep.
Sounds like he's the giant champion. Unless, maybe not. Maybe this is standard badass.
They're just standard huge.
All right,
Oh,
so the
nice.
first one for Lionel, he was flattened, literally, by the sheer force of the blow with multiple broken bones and several shattered ribs.
Holy
He
crap.
takes an additional 3 points of damage.
No, really?
Yeah, you called it.
Being precog sucks.
And you permanently lose 1
life.
point of stamina
Okay.
for Pothos, right? Broken leg. This attack inflicts an additional 4 points of damage, and one leg is crippled, suffering a permanent loss of 5 feet of speed, and moves at half speed until it is healed. And then for Lionel's second crit.
Oh,
What's
right.
left of me?
Oh, he was flattened again.
It's a monster.
Alright. Now you are dead.
I'm just trying to make it challenging for Bindel. That was my only purpose.
It's fine. Bindel's about to die.
With his -3 to... Or no,
Minus
stat.
6.
-6.
Jeez.
So it is Pothos' turn, since Lionel is down. But you guys have, 7 more turns to heal him?
Can Pothos, fly away into, a corner of the room where he's not gonna get fucking wailed on? This is not the
Sure.
kind of fight, I think, where anybody except Bindel is going to be very useful.
Yeah, if you want to.
Right? Or am I wrong? Is there some kind of... Can I aid in this tactical venture, or is there no point because you're just gonna nuke them?
It's up to you. I mean, I might fail, so then we'll just all die, but I don't really know that you'll make a big difference in the long run. So it's fine if you want to hide.
So yeah, he's gonna, go find a crevice to cower in near the ceiling if he can.
Okay. Alright, so Pothos cowers near the ceiling, and it is Bindel's turn.
I cast Shield. It's a max result, but whatever.
Ooh, my corpse has a shield around.
My next one round of casting has a +4. And then for my second action, I cast Planar Step.
Did you take the -6 into account on your first casting?
Oh, then it's not a max result shield, but again, it doesn't matter because they'll hit me no matter what, so...
Okay.
33.
I like this guy.
The giant?
Yeah.
Well, there was no prep time.
Yeah, what does he have, +30 to hit? I mean, obviously don't answer that.
All the giants have been
He's a badass.
well equipped, and this guy's got, big die.
He's a boss.
Darth Maul.
Quite literally in this.
What if he wasn't a boss? It was just like a mini boss.
I mean, that may be the case, true.
We gotta go fight, or whoever's alive gets to fight the fire lady.
She's the real final boss.
We go up to her, she turns to ash.
That was easy.
That was easy.
I teleport all of us back to the library.
Okay.
And then
So we're
The
not doing that?
Oh, we might still do it, but I want a mulligan. That was a horrible opening hand. He jumped up and was like, "Oh, you're scared." And they were like, "No, I'm not." And then they beat the shit out of him.
Oh, speaking of which, we should do something about...
Yeah, here, chug some potions.
Mortimer will pour them down Lionel's throat.
Wait. Oh, I'm with you?
I teleported all of us back.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm downed. I'm not dead. Thanks.
And since we still have time, we don't have to roll his body yet. Right, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just, the whole mush head, prawn to have.
Mush brain? Is that what it was called?
Mush brain. Gash face.
3d6 plus 3 points twice.
4 is 8, 11.
11.
Well, that'll be enough for you to wake up, right?
I think he was pretty negative by the end.
Oh, right, because he took multiple extra damages.
So 12
Plus
15, so 26.
No, just twice.
Twice. Oh, 26. Okay.
You got smashed twice. So I know you took
Oh, I took
3 extra damage
extra
the
damage.
first crit, and how
Did
much?
you roll the d12 for the second smash?
I don't think I did.
Okay, we're gonna do that now.
5.
Okay, so
Okay,
you're
so-
8 in the hole, so total you have 18 hit points.
Wake up, Buttercup!
Buttercup.
Boy, you took some hits there.
Heal us all, then I'm teleporting us back.
Can we bring that invisible servant?
No! I'm not bringing any of the invisible assassins.
I actually don't need the healing, so don't. You just make sure you do it on him. Maybe do a bless first to make sure you get the best results, so we can heal it. I guess it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Plus.
I guess it might, because you have to drink.
6 plus 8.
14. Oh, you need the results, right?
You can wombo combo that son of a bitch.
18 plus 2 is 21. Okay, so 9. That's, Yep. Okay, so now let's lay on hands. Everybody drink.
I'm drunk now.
Is it fun?
Oh, wait, am I? 3... Oh, no, because of this. I'm good.
Ah. Dang, that might have been funny. Or it might have been bad.
What's your HD?
D4s?
What the?
That's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay. 3. You're neutral?
I am neutral.
10.
10.
Well, another one of those and I'd be good, but I also don't really want to be drunk. You need to heal the goat.
Oh, heal the goat.
Probably need to make a fort save. DC 11 at this point.
You're still
That's,
plus 10 plus your bless, so
Yeah,
plus
but
19.
my range for disapproval.
16.
It's increased?
Remember, was that 2? Or does it go...
Oh, it was at 2, yes.
Oh, so that is a fail, which increases your disapproval by 1 more.
That's a critical fail.
Yep, critical fail.
Oh, yeah, so you have to roll.
6. Melancholic introspection. The paladin is overcome with intense sorrow and begins weeping inconsolably for 1 turn, which is extremely appropriate. -1 to all actions for an hour as they continue to burst into tears at the slightest pretext. So could you give me some pretext so I can cry?
We really don't have 10 minutes to waste on you crying right now.
Come on! I
I want to go back and kill that giant.
want to kill the giant.
You should have blessed instead of trying to spear him.
But I was just...
I would have teleported him to the elemental plane of fire or some nonsense.
This is really appropriate that you...
Oh my god.
Oh,
Look at the goat. You need to heal the goat.
I can't... I'm worthless. I'm not good.
Pothos moves his extremely broken
Oh,
leg.
You're such a majestic, chaotic creature from the...
You can still heal, you just have a -1.
No, he can't do anything for 10
10
minutes.
minutes,
He's
right.
crying.
So, just give it... we're... Today on Dorker Realms, we're gonna...
Mortimer will awkwardly pat him on the back.
It's really weird. You're making... It's like my lower back.
Mortimer will go off and sit.
We're wombo comboing the shit out of that giant when we go.
Bindel,
Go through and...
Bindel, please tell him it hurts.
Pothos wants you to know that Pothos is in terrible agony. It's miserable. It hurts. And you're the only one that can fix it. And that I used the potions I could use to fix it on you so you could fix it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I become very... I sound like a character from Big Mouth. I'm so sorry.
Alright, well, 10 minutes of this, so... Are we done yet?
I don't think we have enough sound clips. All right, this is probably blowing everyone's ears out. Let's try it again.
Don't forget you have a -1 now.
Is it for the day?
Next hour.
Your bless has now expired, so you may want to do that again.
So 18.
That's something, right?
Okay, so now I got +2 to attack rolls, natural saving throws, and spell checks.
So you get a +2 to your next spell check.
Oh, great. So 10, 12, 14, and then
22.
22.
-1.
Yes. 21.
So that's to an adjacent.
5 feet.
No. I mean adjacent alignment.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be slightly. Yeah, Are you recasting Bless, or were you?
I did recast Bless.
Oh, you recast Bless. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing the lay on
no, not
hands.
yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
that's for Bless. So 1d3 plus cleric level. So another 9. But 9's great.
9's good.
Okay.
It's better than 2.
Let's lay on hands. So the goat must drink. The goat has to roll.
Goat makes 4.
Constitution.
Yeah.
But I gotta roll.
Just feeding the goat booze.
Yep.
The goat likes it.
Oh, good. So then let's.
The dwarf likes this goat.
I think it's like max. 'cause I
There's
got a
nothing
19.
more beautiful
Yes,
than
it's
the love
22
between a
plus
dwarf
is
and
what
his
it
goat.
gives. So, yeah.
A
you're
dwarf
looking
and
at
another man's goat.
4 hit dice.
It's what?
4 hit dice.
No. Oh, what's the hit dice for the goat again? I forgot.
D10s.
D10s. Oh.
You got 2 right there.
So 5, 14, 18, and 20.
Nice.
The bless doesn't affect it at all?
It affects your roll.
Just the roll. Okay, yeah.
So 20 healing. How is Pothos now?
Was it 39?
Total health?
Mm-hmm.
So that puts you at 59.
Bob's going to have been ritualizing the casting of haste this entire time.
Okay.
Okay.
They're just having a nap while we take care of ourselves.
Sorry, do I need to... Bindel?
I don't want to get drunk.
Okay.
I have a lot of health left.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I can lay hands on self?
Sure.
yeah, you can heal yourself.
Okay.
You just need to take another drink.
Yep.
And
So let's do the drink
also make
first.
a saving.
Yes, that's how that works.
I think I'm good.
Did Pothos make
Yeah.
a saving throw?
Yes.
Okay.
Just accept that you guys are doomed and run away like cowards.
I did the opposite.
Like we might, but that wouldn't be as interesting for the podcast.
I'm going to chug 2 potions. This is how long they last. I'm going to cast Shield. Actually, I guess Bob Dell will cast Haste. Okay, so Bob Dell and I for 2d4 plus 1 rounds have an extra action die. So 8 rounds. Then I cast Shield. Okay. You still have Bless up, right?
It's plus 9.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that might affect the haste, right?
Yes.
Did you get max?
Yes, that is a max result. 7 rounds. Okay, so time basically freezes for us for 2 rounds where we get to take our full actions, but no one else but us can. And then for 7 rounds after that, we have an additional 2 extra action die and move at triple movement speed. So I'm going to cast Shield, then Planar Step us over there, and then I'm going to Planar Step again. That one actually might be too low.
Plus 9.
Right.
Every little thing he does is magic.
Oh, that is a max result. And then I teleport him and the Priestess into the trench in the Gardens of Yane.
Oh, you should have not cast that until you told me you guys were back there.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
well,
it's not the same as when you left,
Oh, right.
considering
Well,
you spent a long time.
Sure, we're back now.
Okay. Roll for initiative, first of all.
Okay.
Isn't time still standing still?
Yes,
Sure, but you
technically
still
there's
move
still
in
an
initiative.
Oh,
19.
Okay.
There's still an initiative order. 20.
Mortimer gets 2.
11.
What was your guys' again? Pothos was 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lionel?
19?
19, that's right. Bindel and Mortimer?
20.
2.
When you guys reappear in the chamber, all of the priestesses that were serving as sacrifices have been decapitated, and the bottom of the chamber floor, you're standing about ankle deep within ooze that has filled the chamber. The canopic jars are shattered, and a massive brain is lifted up on a column of ooze about 20 feet in the air in front of you, with the head priestess kind of in front of it, performing some kind of ritual, and the champion standing guard.
Okay, I transport the brain, the priestess, and the champion into the pit in the Garden of Yane.
You can transport anything?
Yes, and no saving throw.
Okay. Can you read it to me just so I can hear it? Because
Sure.
I think that's better than just being like, I do the thing.
Sure, that makes sense. That is a good A good call, Danny. The caster transports boats, armies, fortresses, and even small cities as result 34 through 35 above, except he completes the spell with unerring accuracy and can even teleport objects to other dimensions beyond our concept of space and time, potentially visiting gods and alien intelligences. Alternatively, the caster can create a permanent portal between the planes. The caster designates one object. I'm going to skip the permanent portal stuff. No, that's all of it. All the rest is about making the portal
It's the
permanent.
straw.
The sizes, the cost.
Okay. So as time resumes, they vanish from existence. I assume that happens when time resumes.
I think it would happen instantly because it's my action upon them, but I'm not
Okay.
positive.
Well, either way, they're all gone. And an ominous silence falls over the temple.
I think that's it. We diverted the disaster, I think.
Does the pillar of ooze remain, or does it also splash down?
It sinks down to the floor.
What happened?
I've teleported them to a horrible endless pit.
Oh, well,
Maybe they'll meet some of my friends there.
you have friends in an endless pit?
Unfortunately.
Oh. Well, how long's it been?
For my friends?
Yes.
A while?
Probably not, like, still alive in...
I don't know. It happened like a while ago.
Right, so they're probably, like, starved.
I don't know if it's been that long.
I don't think so. All right.
What's that?
Remind him you don't have a concept of time?
Well, I mean, I just told him it was a little while ago.
I know.
It was like before I met you. That happened.
Yeah, they've almost... Well, that was pretty recently, I guess.
I met you, like, during the wizard adventure, right?
No.
How long's it been since the wizard adventure, Bothos?
10 years.
Oh. Apparently it's been over 10 years.
Yes, I'm sure they won't meet your friends then.
They'll meet
They might
their
meet-
friends' bodies.
Well,
They are giants, they're heavier, they probably fall faster. No, wait. Is that
They're smart enough
That's
to-
probably-
that might be how it works. I don't know.
Seems to make sense to me.
We need an apple to fall on some kid's head, and then we'll know more.
Is that how it works? Maybe I'll just go sit under an apple tree then.
Sure. All right, well, do we want to go check out that last chamber with that lady?
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the last piece. And then maybe she can tell us about those pedestals. Or should we see if there's something going on in there? If we diverted the thing, maybe it stopped.
No, let's go talk to the lady first.
Right.
We go talk to the lady.
Well, we at least go to the entrance to that room. I don't know if we're okay to step inside it.
Because it's super hot.
Yeah.
All right. So you start heading down the hallway as the ground begins to shake violently beneath your feet. I'm talking like more violently than
Planar
you've
step, everyone.
ever felt before. Before Bindel is capable of casting planar step, you're hoisted upwards as the floor lifts into the air. Everyone make a reflex save.
Ooh.
We're not staying on the floor, though.
The floor is going all the way up.
Gotcha.
17?
21.
4,
Oh,
10,
wait, sorry. I only get plus
11,
I only
plus 9, 20? Your plus is still
Oh,
going.
yeah,
It's
20,
been
20.
like a minute.
Oh,
Because
right.
all of our
It's
actions
plus
happened
9.
all at once.
Well,
It's been 3 rounds.
I rolled a natural 1.
The haste rounds are all 1 round, by the way.
Okay,
Like,
it's been
like,
3
just so you
rounds.
So my total there is 14.
Okay.
So this might not be good for Mortimer.
But mine's 20.
Mortimer gets slapped around by falling rubble and takes 6 points of damage. All of you are hoisted far up into the air, knocked around, sent spinning as the air is filled with dust and no noise can be heard over the crashing of stone blocks as everything goes black, and then you see open sky above you finally as everything starts to settle down. The entire temple collapsed around you, and then a huge shadow falls over you. And as you look up, you see a 300-foot tall, headless titan standing up amidst the rubble.
Mayhap we didn't stop the thing.
Roll for initiative.
That's unfortunate.
Well, Bindo, I think for once you're right. I can't do anything here.
12?
8.
17 for Mortimer.
17.
Mortimer also rolled a 17.
Who has the higher agility?
I have a 13.
I have a 14.
Okay, Bendel then.
All right. Bindel is the first to get his wits about him standing amidst the rubble and is able to act.
Planar step. Oh, that's not going to do anything.
Ooh.
It's not as bad as you think.
Oh, okay.
That is a 23 plus 2 plus 9. Is
34? Yeah. 25
22, or 32.
23 plus 2 is 25 plus 9 is 34.
Oh, 34.
Yeah,
Okay. I can't do math. It's really hard. Look, I just cast spells, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to help with
I have
that.
invisible servants who do all the math for me.
Can they talk?
Yes.
Okay.
They can convey standard information. What did we say?
34.
34. I'll try transporting it. It has a will save of 34.
It succeeds.
Okay, that's what I
Oof.
thought. I'll attempt again. My next action. Okay, well, that's a max result. I teleport it to the elemental plane of fire.
This is so Rick Sanchez of you.
It disappears for a moment and then reappears a little hazy, and then seconds later it re-solidifies its form as if your magic has been twisted and dispelled.
That's it. Vindel's satchel. Just scratches his chin. Just like, huh.
I guess let me look through my spells.
Do you still have further actions?
We each have an additional 2 actions.
Yeah, I know.
I've used 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, you're on a different turn now. Right.
God, it reminds me of Overlord when he's just like casting or removing all the magical enchantments. Oh, you don't watch Overlord?
I've never seen it. No.
Is there a bunch of rubble like around us from the temple still?
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm gonna use telekinesis and pick up a block and smash it with a block.
Sure.
Magneto.
Oh, I need to...
Enough.
38.
It would suck if teleporting the brain kept it really safe, since it's a headless titan. And then you're just like, oh, cool. Aim
what am I supposed to do, you know?
aim for its vulnerable spot. To the Gardens of Een! Planar step!
I
Let's
teleport
go!
it to the garden.
No,
I
you teleport us!
I teleport it to the head.
And then it merges, and it forms Voltron? Great.
Voltron's
What did we say it was?
38.
Really?
Yeah, you had 29 plus 9.
Oh yeah, 38. Alright.
Oh, wow, there are higher results.
It speaks in tongues. But it has no head. So it just talks out of its butt.
I know you love these questions of like specific dimensions and sizes, Danny. So like, I want to pick up a block, a roughly 2,500 pounds of of stone, if there is one.
Make a luck roll, I guess.
I succeed.
Okay. Find one.
If we just fight Mario's hand, like in Smash Brothers.
And then I'll try hitting him with the
The
fucking
master
thing.
hand. That's not Mario's hand.
Yeah,
That would be
God,
so much
Paul.
better.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
What's up?
God, Paul.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So I make an attack roll of 50 with the big ass block to hit it.
Okay. You hit.
it is.
So I do 350 points of damage with the block.
Plus 9.
Plus 9.
359.
Plus 6.
So 365.
All right. Bindel hurls this massive block and just annihilates the Titan, just smashes right through it. Like,
Fucking serious!
rains chunks of
Oh, God!
undead flesh
Paul is
across
leaving.
the...
It was a fleshy
Bye.
titan?
Yeah.
Bye.
Flesh
There was a
and
brain.
flesh and ooze fall everywhere, and
Mortimer's like rolling
The-
and ducking and...
the clouds part as beautiful sunlight rays down from above, and you return home triumphant heroes
Covered in
as
gore.
women and children prostrate themselves before you, and a crowd of munchkins dances around you, throwing flowers into the air, and there's a huge parade, and cartons of ale are brought to you, and there's a huge feast, and they pile gold and magical silver from other dimensions at your feet, and you retire and live out the rest of your days celebrated as champions, and just think, that was easy. What the fuck was the point of all that?
Well,
The end. Thanks for playing, guys.
No resale value.
I hear this is the end of Season 1 of Dorker Realms.
Dude, wait, what's that mean?
That means we're no longer playing DCC, and sadly I won't be around anymore.
I cease to non-existent.
No more Pothos either. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. That was the epic question mark conclusion to Dorker Realms. I will see you next time. Stay tuned and find out what we're doing.
You don't want to do a cathartic and just add it on to this?
Okay, I guess stay tuned for the cathartic as well. Right now.
1 hour and 8 minutes.
Let's do it.
All
Here's
right.
the cathartic.
Danny, how little do you care? No, I'm kidding.
I couldn't care any less.
That's a very solid idiom.
So it's immune to like all magical spells, right? Basically.
No, don't be silly.
What happened?
I was like, well, that would be a terrible ending.
Okay, so you just made it come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so if I had just lightning bolted it or magic missile it should have worked too.
Yeah, sure. That probably would have done less damage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez. 365 a year's worth of pain.
359.
65.
because he added
65,
6
my bad.
Yeah.
at the end, and I was like, wow.
I hit it once for every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with TK. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, he's immune to magic. So then I hit him with a rock.
So
8 squares away, heavy, ultra heavy.
Danny, what was the brain? What would have happened if we hadn't if Bindel hadn't teleported the brain away? It would have had a head then?
Well, the body, it takes a long time for the ritual to fully awaken the Titan to its ancient state. So that's not really covered in the adventure. You basically fight the brain, and then when it dies, the body rises without a brain.
Oh, I see. So this was like a giant cult to summon a giant Titan thing, basically?
Yeah, it has like some really cool backstory and stuff, which doesn't actually come into play in the adventure proper, but like if you were planning ahead of time, like you were planning out a campaign, you could work the backstory into your world, and it would be really cool and like a really exciting climax, as long as you're not playing with DCC.
So the chalice, scooping up the ichor and drinking it, how did that actually work mechanically?
The chalice doesn't do anything special for that.
It just is there to drink from, like, ritualistically, basically?
So
Yeah.
if you roll really low, it kills you, I assume, but like medium results, it makes you a giant? Giant-fies you?
If you fail your fortitude save, you take damage, and if you survive, you swole up.
Oh, so you have to fail. So succeeding means you just resist the effect.
Yeah. And you have to actually pass the secondary test or go insane from the horrifying pain.
That's poor Bert.
I don't know, I like Swallow.
The 3 thrones?
Cool.
There's magical items underneath them.
Under the
The
black
altars,
stone?
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
If you
Well, not
move
that it would have
them
made a
or
whole lot of difference.
destroy them.
Would that have
like,
halted the chaotic...
No.
That just... Is there a way to stop that, or is that just part of that room?
Yeah, that's just part of that room.
Okay.
Is there another way to expel the air in front of that room?
Well, it doesn't have any damaging effect on you.
You're just kind of like...
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just
which
super
is why
gross
I had
and
that whole
chaotic.
thing with Fox about not checking the results until I even roll or it matters.
Right,
Yeah. Okay.
That was based on your corruption, I believe, as a wizard, but...
Oh,
Because-
yeah. If you had corruption, would you take more damage?
If you have corruption, because it's like raw chaos, essentially, so if you have corruptions, the wizard can just become fascinated by it and be like, I must go to it, and run down the hallway and throw himself onto the wall and be horribly disintegrated.
Oh, don't touch the wall.
Oh, God, okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of the mechanics in DCC just don't actually work the way they're supposed to work.
Yeah.
And or the spells, they're just crazy powerful. Even the 350 health he has, that easily is 1 turn of magic missiles. Because I have 4 magic missile castings.
With haste.
Well, yeah, so yeah. What's the max
even
damage of a
without it,
magic missile?
Yeah,
A fuck ton.
Yeah? Okay.
2d4 plus 2 magic missiles that do 1d10 each plus caster level. And you apply the bless to each missile.
Okay, that's a good one.
So
if you're looking at 10, if you get the max result of the magic missiles.
Just do 5. And then you add you're adding 17 to each of those 5 missiles. So
That's how much your damage?
Well, I'm level 8. He's giving me a +9.
Okay.
And we add my luck modifier, so that's 18 per missile before we even roll damage.
And how much is the damage per missile?
1d10. So again, another 5.
Right.
So
if we're averaging, 5 plus.
So that's
17 plus
18 times 5 plus 25. So that's an average of 115 damage per casting of magic missile.
Right, and if you do it 4 times, if you're.
I don't even need haste. I can do it 3 times in a turn because Bob can do it too.
Okay, so that totals 5 less than his total health from 3 castings.
Yeah, so easily in a turn, a party should be able to kill him in DCC regardless.
If we're this level, yeah. I mean,
and that's kind of my point.
A party with a wizard.
Yeah, but I don't think a party without a wizard would even get this far.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And I think that's kind of the fucked up thing about DCC is it's this really well-regarded game, but honestly, it just feels straight up broken.
Even if you didn't have a wizard and you have a cleric, you still have a really strong party, but with a wizard, it's just...
With a wizard, you have ultimate control over a lot of things.
Yeah, you were kind of joking, telling Mortimer he was here to just check for traps, but that's literally the only role I had as the character.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Yeah,
warriors are fucking really pathetic too. They do nothing.
They're great, the first 3 levels.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is they actually did a pretty interesting thing with a lot of the classes in DCC. It's just they're really, really overshadowed.
Especially once you pass level 3 or 5 or whatever, wizards just I do everything. You just
even at level 1, wizards can be super broken. If you just roll a really strong Mercurial on magic missile, because
how your shield gives you +4 to your castings.
Well, you can literally have one that makes it so your die rolls a d30.
Oh shit!
And then at level 1, you have a wizard who can easily hit the max result.
And then you have to make
That's
sure...
wild.
You have, as a DM, you have to make it so the wizard has his pants down, basically. So, enter the Dagon. Or Dagon?
Yeah, a lot of what people were saying is you just add wizards and stuff to every fight. And, part of the reason it doesn't work for us is we are playing the straight-up modules. But, even so, you shouldn't have to, completely tailor every game to, how can I fuck over my players who has a wizard?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it was made with an eye for swag. And so, if you have someone that's good with numbers and mechanics, then it just completely goes out the window. Because I can theoretically see a wizard not being as good if someone's just I'll try this. I'll roll it. But, if you have people that have, played competitive mini games and stuff like that, and they're we can combo this with that.
Or even just someone who's played a lot of tabletop RPGs and knows to look for how to maximize his bonuses.
Yeah.
Their bonuses.
I haven't even been, really doing as much as I can. I've been hamstringing myself a lot.
Yeah, you completely cut out Invisible Servant because it was too strong.
Do you think the swamp was the first time where you're I have these invincible, summonings?
Yeah, that was back in Lamentations. But in Lamentations, at least it's only one spell. Sure. And there is a real risk that summon literally kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those floating boobs, those teats, jingling teats, they're out there.
Plus, you have a major limitation on the spells you can cast per day.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the first time I've encountered as a group with all you.
It seemed really cool at first when I was playing Petra to go from 3 spells a day to
as much as you want.
Unlimited power.
Yeah, it does. It feels great, right?
But then as you try to play longer, it gets.
It took you quite a while, honestly, because I was this is not
I mean,
there's nothing here.
I was really I mean, as a I wasn't playing a wizard. I was just enjoying a little bit of the succeeding and as a cleric being able to be actually useful and stuff. But
it is a heated debate whether the cleric is more broken than the wizard or not.
yeah.
DCC,
Oh wow.
Well, for the
I say our experience would seem to say the wizard, but I don't know. Maybe
No,
I
you
wasn't.
saved
I
You
would,
one-shot a lot of things.
yeah,
oh, with the
paralyzed.
yeah, I suppose.
But
that's
then even
true.
just asking your patron.
Well, also, like, the debate isn't even that intense. It's literally like, they can heal infinitely. You can't do incremental damage. So, like, basically every adventure in DCC boils down to one fight.
Yeah.
whether or not they get killed in the fight.
Well, no, because if you, like, in a normal adventure, right, you have, like, oh, they encounter some bandits or whatever, and that'll, like, take maybe 10 points of health off of them, and then the cleric may or may not heal or whatever, and then we have, like, another kind of, like, mid-adventure fight, and then we have the big climax battle. But all of the little battles don't matter in DCC because they don't actually do damage. It's just a time waster. Because the cleric can heal always.
I mean, yeah, I know their disapproval affects it a little bit, but not
Yes.
significantly enough.
If there's, like, an extreme result of some sort, it can change it.
or a
But,
lot
like,
of
for the
bad
most-
rolls.
For the most part, like, they're pointless. And, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I've cut the cleric and the wizard from my game. And at that point, like, why are you playing DCC?
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I can see how some people might really enjoy it, depending on their play styles and if the DM makes a lot of house rules. But personally, it's not for me. I did not enjoy running DCC very much at all.
So, what are we going to next?
We're
I
gonna
guess I'm the only one that really enjoyed DCC.
No,
Hey,
Robin, that's not
that's
true.
great.
I did enjoy DCC for a long time, but just like like halfway through the last adventure and the previous adventure and this adventure, it was.
And I'm not trying to pick a fight or anything, but I enjoyed everything about the game. I liked that it was broken. It was fun to play a system, because it's not like we live in current year. Like, if we get tired of a game, you know, what am I trying to say? If we get tired of a game, then we can just be like, oh, we're not playing DCC anymore, play something else. It's not like it's the 80s where it's like, well, you have D&D and you have war games, and that's it. If you don't like one of those two things, you're fucked.
And
It was a fun thing to do, like, temporarily. I wouldn't want to play in a campaign, like a DCC campaign, for like 5 years, but I enjoyed it up until Bindel got his hat, because at that point it seemed like, well, you could just do everything by yourself. Why are you even here?
basically.
It just became unfun to be a person in the party.
And I'm very glad that you enjoyed it, so at least there was enjoyment being had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't begrudge anyone else their enjoyment, and I'm glad that you did enjoy it. And I think your points are 100% valid.
I think it's definitely way more appealing to a way more casual player.
I mean,
Because nobody else at this table, I mean, maybe Paul, but, like, I'm the most casual player here. I'm like, how can I play this game fun, have chances for roleplay, and then have combat be, like, successful and not extremely stressful? That's how I like video games, too. That's how I like gaming.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a really, it seems like it's built for casual players, for people like you're saying, that aren't going to hammer it too hard and find all the,
yeah, and, like, I did enjoy it kind of like you enjoy, like, God mode in a game where it's like a weird power fantasy, but, like, it just wears really thin really quick.
Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
I was just gonna say I had to I had to start the cult of the goat's hands to actually see like what normal people are like again. Because all I saw was Bindel like just passing through things or moving things, and I mean I enjoyed Reza, but that's because I had stuff to do. I would really hate to be, I guess, a fighter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Mortimer was a less good thief. If we had Mortimer at, like, level 3 or 5 or something, he probably would have been very useful. Well, I guess he was at 5 at first. But, like, in some of our previous adventures, he would have been useful because he would have been thief, but, his explosives and stuff might have actually been useful.
Dude, if you just cut the wizard, like, that's actually really impressive.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point, is, like,
Yeah.
if you cut the magic from DCC, which its whole thing is the magic system, that's, the biggest part of the book, it's actually okay, but why are you playing DCC then?
Every part of playing Petra, I enjoyed. I really liked a cleric, I really liked playing a cleric that could heal as much as she wanted to, and like Bless was an incredibly useful spell. And, basic level 1 spell, that was the most common thing I used. Like, it was great. I liked it a lot. And, I also liked the character, and it was a weird, the roleplay was fun too, but even though Bindel was more powerful than everybody else as Petra, I still felt very useful to the party. Once she died, which was probably one of the best endings to a character I've ever had, I gotta say. That was pretty fucking fabulous.
I think that was my favorite thing in the last acts of our games, was that very dramatic ending to that adventure.
Yeah, that was really good.
And especially the way Bindel went back to like memorialize her. That was pretty cool. But then switching to Mortimer, which was a cool and interesting class and a fun enough character, but especially once we powered up to level 8, he's just there to check for traps. So what we were talking about, what we're gonna do next, right?
Yes. So.
Well, I think Paul might have had something to say.
Okay. Sorry. If you have
are we moving on? Or?
No, if you have one.
If you have something to say.
I guess the last thing I want to say is the loot system. Like, we didn't really get any artifacts, but then they were moot because my Bless or Petra's Bless or Bindel could just make something, and then we did carry that ship. So,
that was also kind of awesome.
You need to have kind of like an economy and a struggle in a game.
Yeah.
And prize like a +2 dagger that you threw, like Ari had way back in the day.
Yeah.
We were like holding that thing, and now it's just like,
that was so cool, that dagger.
Yeah, now it's like, I piss Bless on my hands, and I don't wash my hands.
It's the best way to not get coronavirus.
It's pissing on your hands.
Piss Bless.
Yeah, you're washing your hands with it. Yes.
Right.
That's why Bless You is a golden shower. Yeah.
Before we talk about what we wanted to do next, I don't know, did you guys, since we finished our season 1, did you want to briefly talk about like just some memories, like favorite moments, favorite adventure, stuff like that?
I already brought up one of mine for sure with Petra's End.
One of my favorites too.
Very good. Like a character I definitely hated to see go. She's probably one of my favorite characters I've played in a tabletop, but it was such a fitting end. It was hard to be upset about it.
I really don't like Lamentations overall. Like, I think that, like, the setting's fine, and even the presentation's fine for me. It's just, like, the rules of that game I thought were very shallow. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the classes are just as bare bones as possible, which makes it pretty boring. But a lot of the adventures I really liked, particularly, like, the Forbidden Otherworlds by Patrick Stewart, right?
Forbidden Otherworlds was Zarchov Kowalski.
Which one was that?
That is when we went to hell.
Oh, right.
And I just really loved the description of the rooms, and like he had that whole like his whole thing was like, well, how would I make a like quarantine room but in like the 16th century?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's really cool.
And not to mention, that whole adventure was very tense, and we had like a timer going on because the flare-ups would constantly happen, and there was we were always on the verge of death, basically.
It's so fucked that the flare-ups are accelerated by loud noises. Yeah. And then he's like, here, take this NPC with a gun who can't hit anything. And you're like, this fucking sucks.
A good old Father Baldwin firing off his musket, never hitting anything, but always triggering one of those things.
The crow proved that God's better than the crow, and he puts the gun right up to the crow and misses.
That was a really tense, terrifying adventure.
Yeah, that was.
I'm having a really hard time remembering anything I did that was like a favorite moment, but like when I look back at like everything that we've done so far, almost all of my like, oh gee, what a cool memory was like Danny when he's like going, oh shit, and like flying by the seat of his pants, and he's just like, well, I don't know what the module says, so I'm just gonna do a thing. Like meeting the animal NPCs and the flowers in the Garden of Eden, and like the gaps that were left there and the way that you filled those in, and like the scarecrow stories. I was mad about it at the time, but like I look back on like how tense and like how that was such a tightly done, like it's really, because like I have run several like years long campaign, and it's really hard to keep like a really good poker face when you're running a game and not be like give away like, oh, this is a thing you should be doing, or make your players feel bad because you're like, they know that you know more than them, and you are so good at like having a balance of like, you know what's going on, but you don't make us. I've never felt like shit because I don't know what's happening. I feel like it's because we're not figuring it out, not because like, I don't know, you're just a really good DM, and most of like when I look back on like all the games that we've played, I'm not remembering anything that I specifically did that I'm like, oh, fond memories. I'm looking back and being like, Danny's a good storyteller, and he's doing such a good job, like, making these things that are fucked up not be, like, quite so fucked up.
And in fact, a couple of times when Danny, knowing more than us, we probably should have paid more attention to him. Like, when we fought, what was the fucking bear demigod?
Yes.
Medved. When we fought Medved, like, I think you were trying very hard, without saying it directly, to encourage us to not do that, and we completely just went ahead anyway.
That's one of my favorite characters from the whole game.
Man, I just, because of the gap in how we record, I just totally forgot that he had offered us to pay us too.
Yes,
And
we
I was
all
like,
did!
Sure, I'll take Andre's money because I want to get paid. And then Medved's like, I offered you money. And I'm like, did you? He's like, yeah, you stupid piece of shit.
And then he pulped Gron.
Thank God.
R.I.P.
It was getting on my nerves.
Oh, he was the best.
Q, Gron was great.
Ron was awesome. I miss him still. That was one of my favorite adventures, was
Medved?
Blood Moon Rising, when the town was all celebrating Gron Glitterbeard and Ryan couldn't stand it.
Wait, that was the Garen
That's
game.
the Garen.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
the...
have a question. What was everybody's favorite character that they played?
Oh, Ben Daniel Johnson.
I mean, you only played, like, two characters the whole time.
I think I've made it pretty clear that I think Petra was my
Petra,
favorite.
yeah.
Gron is a close
You
second.
played the
but...
most, Paul.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite?
I mean, we have a hashtag based on him.
Let's see. I know, like, politically I should say the least racist, or stereotypical. So, between Cortez and the Wanderer, he was eaten by a shark. Yeah. He was eaten by a shark and thrown up. He was very short-lived.
When was that?
When Medved sent us to fight Andre, like...
Oh, yeah, he just got chowed. That's right.
Yeah, he got chowed because
Yeah.
Cortez charged Medved and got pulped. So that was back-to-back, insta-wipes.
I think that's when we started saying, yeah, I get pulled it.
Yeah, unintentional Jewish stereotype. Mervyn Supreme.
Who got crushed by bricks?
Who had...
After a person had gone in,
Not through the door.
not through the door, like a smart. And we had one invincible snake.
God damn it.
I love that Mervyn, he was Rat Trap, right?
Rat
was his
Trap.
inspiration?
Yeah, from Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why he had rat-like features. And in no way did I think drawing someone
Who's the
with
one
a
that had the bear
No,
trap.
that's the beaver. That is Broom Nobbins.
Broom Nobbins. Okay, sorry.
Caldwell Broom Nobbins.
Mervyn had the most badass
He had
entrance.
such a badass intro.
Turtles.
We
Giant.
were fighting the electric crystal turtles.
Oh
and he was
shit,
like,
he's just
yo-yo! And
yo-yo!
we were like, a yo-yo? And he's like, bah! I just
And he
cracked
just
this turtle you haven't even been able to hurt.
He's just shattered like both of them.
Yeah,
It was.
18.
You're right. He had a pretty badass entrance.
You know, speaking of Pauled It, here's a fun little thing. Let's go through all the adventures and see which ones you survived.
First one, no.
So, Tower of the Stargazer, you died.
Only
Connect four.
Ari survived.
Yeah,
Because I also looked through a telescope and turned into goo.
true. Blood Moon Rising, he survived. Father Goblin.
But I was sick a lot. Me and
Very.
we fought orcs, and then I hit one in the head.
Yeah, we teamed up and we're like, yeah, we did good, and then
And
a lot
then
more
there's like,
orcs.
5 more came out of a hut. We're like, ooh, ga, ga, ga. And we're like,
And that's when Gron carried you home.
yep. And
Oh,
then
good
Bindel.
memories.
And then
got me-
and then Ari hurt his foot, and so Gron carried him, and then Bindel
His
almost
ankle.
his ankle,
Ankle,
sorry,
yeah.
and then Bindel fell off the pillar inside the archway, and Gron carried him home.
right.
Gron literally carried the entire party.
Yep. On his back.
Yes.
And I plus 1. I did the first bless.
Yes,
for
you did.
The Garen games.
And then Bindel stole a potion to help heal you, and then
Technically, Ari did.
oh no, that's right, Ari stole the potion, and he was like, "It's a miracle because of Gron."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the
That
credit.
was
So
that was
good.
really funny. I
And-
gotta say.
You actually survived going through Forbidden Otherworlds as well, right? It wasn't until Tales of the Scarecrow that Father Goblinson died.
Yeah.
Well, so that was when we learned about rations and how the Inquisition wouldn't let us have my pack mule with all my shit in it. Again, if you're gonna send questers to quest,
They were just trying to get us killed, dude.
and the
They
three
just
guys.
they there was a win-win for them. Either we all died and they didn't care, or we did something to solve the problem and it helped them, and then they would probably have executed us anyway.
Sure, but I really played the old man as Neil Goblinson because I had diarrhea in the following adventure. And
That's when the prison pockets started.
Yep.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
I slipped that one in.
the
Fun and
That house in the middle of the
Scarecrow, yeah.
cornfield, yeah.
And then, after dying in Tales of the Scarecrow, you made up for your previous survivals by dying multiple times during Slumbering Ursine Dunes.
what, four characters?
Because it was,
I think it was just 2, right? It was Cortez and Mohawk,
yeah.
and then Mervyn came in like a badass.
Yeah, at the end of that one, and
Yeah.
went into the next one, and then he died.
Yeah, because the next one was Scenic Dunsmouth, where he
Got play
died.
as Narcissus.
And then, who came...
fucking hated Arceus 2. That was the worst experience ever.
That was
Number one, because Ryan doesn't let you have any agency. And number two,
Because you touched the time cube.
yes, and I furiously masturbated in my final moments of having eyes. Or actually, I didn't have eyes.
That did
No,
save,
exactly.
That
Yeah.
did save Petra's life.
Yes, correct.
the masturbation.
No, him grabbing the time cube over Petra.
Yes.
That's right.
So
That would have been a terrible
So technically,
ending.
Arceus 2 I also played.
That's why I
Yeah.
summoned the demons, to protect us.
And so
And-
then who was the next
We
character?
just never talk about how I summoned the demons.
Next was Broomnobbins, right? Because the next adventure was No Salvation for Witches.
Which I split the party for the first time.
Wait.
And he's...
Oh, that's the one where we ended up in the church, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one
which
with
is
the big
where-
ritual.
Willow eventually died. right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Split
sadly.
the dancers.
Still
And-
mad about it.
But
Yeah.
you
Still
survived
upset
that,
when I think
right?
about Willow.
No?
So Willow got shot with the arrow, or
No, Willow got caught.
The wand.
wand, yeah. Turned one long, and then
right.
Nobbins also got into their line of sight. Hero clicks. And then I failed my check. So, and that's how
Yeah.
he died.
Who did you play next in the Gardens of Een?
Hamish.
Hamish.
Oh,
and
was
he died
he
there.
was also a thief?
He fell. Huh?
No, he was
he's
a
dwarf.
Oh, right.
Dwarf
Who
is
did,
your own job.
what was Alder?
That was...
The next character after Willow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember we couldn't remember the other elf that one
I don't
time.
remember Alder very much. Did he last very long?
Southern accent.
No,
No,
that
no,
was
he-
Valerian.
No, that's Alder.
Oh, because Valerian was
Oh.
Pothos's. The whole
Yes.
reason I was playing him was so that I could
To get to
play
Pothos. So
yeah.
Alder must have died pretty
He
quickly.
died in Gardens of Eden. He's in that.
Yes.
book, and
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like-
because he
he's like-
summoned the frog and
Yeah.
it killed him while he was
And the
falling.
frog was
you-
like, shrug emoji.
By the way,
Can you-
probably my favorite
Frog.
moment for a
Frog,
Robin
can you
character.
kill me? He does.
Yeah, that's when he does becomes Danny's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Well, he shows up. He's like, I don't know what you want me to do. That part was so funny.
No, it was especially like bad because Petra does the thing and the angel saves them, and so then Alder's like, "Well, I can do that too, right? Let me pray." Frog shows up.
Just fucking
The Battletoad.
kidding.
Can you kill me? He does.
I didn't even realize that became my catchphrase
It's a
until it
thing
was
you
played
say,
back
yeah,
to me.
all the time.
That's what we
He
need to
does.
make a master cut of Danny saying he does. So then after Hamish
That was Reza.
was Reza.
Next,
Oh
and
yeah.
So you never died again.
I guess.
But then he made-
technically-
He did retire. Reza
Oh, that's right, because he
retired,
lost
yeah.
his hand.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I didn't have to,
I got them a new one.
but he really is, like, mentally just...
No, I think it was
That's
good.
why I got them the new hand, too. It has a bigger brain than Reza.
And I liked you playing Lionel because that's what I was juggling between either the Dwarf Sapper or the Booze Paladin. And so that's why I was kind of happy that you took the Booze Paladin, because then I wouldn't just be playing like a similar or lesser version of the character I had just given up.
Right.
So it gave me a chance to play something very different, even if he wasn't all that useful except for checking for traps.
Also, thank you for letting me answer my own question. My favorite character was Willow. Like, I like her so much, I might use that same character in another game.
Cool.
She was great.
Just like a hippy dippy elf. It was just a lot of fun.
Elvish axes you don't see, and like just bare feet and weird.
Yeah.
Very Luna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based around Luna.
Well, I mean, if you want to bring her in our next game...
Maybe.
Ooh.
If we move on to playing Call of Cthulhu, then I'll be playing Kona. So.
No, I mean in the in-between.
Oh, and yours.
Because as we were moving towards that, right?
Wait.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I don't know that we were done going over the things.
Okay, I'm
Danny
sorry.
has a list he's reading.
Sorry, we can cut that out then. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that was actually the last time that Paul had a death. So he died like 7 times in 12 adventures. So not actually that bad.
Broom Robbins came back when the witch in the water.
Temporarily, yeah.
Yes.
His voice came back anyways.
So you didn't die as much as we dramatized it, but there was like a solid block that all your deaths were contained in. Like, you got through the first 3 with just 1 death, like pretty much everyone except for Ari, but then you were like non-stop until we switched to DCC, and then you were good.
Oof.
I mean, keep in mind, I was under the umbrella and protection of Petra combo magic.
That's true.
So is it 7 characters or 7 deaths?
7 deaths.
Okay, so 8
because he
total.
did like retire Reza.
Yeah.
And then I was flattened by those giants, and I thought Bindel's like, idiot. And then he just snaps his fingers.
Dumbass.
Just a tumbleweed. And it's kind of like in Dark Souls when the boss beats you, and then he just like walks around. Just says, you died. And shows the Yamcha pose of whatever my character was.
Behold the power of the wolf fang fist.
You died.
Alright, so, yeah, we're going to do a little one-shot that you're running, right? Next?
Yes, Vox will be running the in-between, the one-shot before we start our next actual season, I guess.
You said you had actually looked into the 2 systems a little bit, Robin, and
Yeah.
had an opinion of what we do next?
Yeah, I would really... I would like the chance to play Call of Cthulhu. I have an idea for a character that I think would be fun, and the gaming system also just seems more straightforward, because the pie chart thing looks like fun, but it also looks like somebody's gonna have to sit next to me and like literally hold my hand. I'm gonna be confused for a long time.
Yeah, I think CCC is probably the easiest game to play, period.
Yeah.
So, like, that's our strong opinion, which is
Cool.
the strongest one we have, so let's just do that.
So I'll be running us a short 5th ed
Yeah.
horror module. Because
yeah.
Danny, for Christmas, bought me this kick-ass book. And hopefully it should provide some interesting stuff to tie us over between this game and our Call of Cthulhu campaign.
And it'll give Danny a little break.
Yes.
Where he can actually play.
Yes, which is I'm really excited for, because I mean Robin's been playing in my game for a while now, but I haven't run a game with. I guess Ryan was also briefly in my D&D game, but I haven't run a game with the group of you, and I haven't run a game with Danny or Paul playing in it. So this should be a very hopefully fun and interesting experience.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I guess that's our cathartic and then some.
Yeah.
Our cathartic for the season.
Thanks so much for joining us on this adventure. We had some good times. We had some weird times. We had
And
some
we had
bad
some DCC
times.
times. Yeah!
Yeah.
I'm so sad Bindel's gone, by the way.
Yeah.
He's become like my internal monologue in real life.
Tweet at us and tell us who your favorite character was.
Yes,
maybe
please.
what your favorite moment was.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll see you next season. Thanks for listening, everyone. It means a lot.
Really
Thank you.
does.
All right, bye.
That does it for today's episode of Dorker Realms. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly of all, tune in next week.